Hotel workers of Reddit, what is the worst thing you have found in a room after a guest stay? Worked at an upscale ski resort. One family let their toilet training kid pee behind the toilet and under the sink throughout their whole visit. Then put our white towels on top of it to help clean up the mess. Whole place smelled like a freaking rhino enclosure. Ruined the towels. A syringe under a mattress. After I felt a prick on the end of my finger, I was tucking in a sheet under the bed, and there were actually 2 uncovered insulin needles under there. I got rushed to hospital. Hepatitis shots and a tetanus shot. 2 different HIV prevention medication for a month. Monthly blood tests for about a year. I'm fine. And it barely stuck me in truth. But I was already afraid of needles and disease. I still feel traumatized. I was not going to post at all, but I've always wondered if there was anything else I should have done. The doctors assured me that they were more precautious than necessary. Worst fear. A dead body. Someone ended up killing themselves in the hotel room by hanging themselves in the closet. Was in there a few days before we found him. Dead bodies and shit seem to be the winning themes. Yeah, sex juices are probably a lot less visible or pungent. Worst to clean up, not because it was gross, but because it was annoying and time consuming, was popcorn. A baseball team stayed in a couple rooms and I guess they had those like caramel popcorn balls that they had just thrown all over the room. At the walls, furniture. It stuck to the carpet and was almost impossible to vacuum. Popcorn everywhere. Doesn't sound that bad, with caramel. And there it is. Someone pooped in the nightstand. It had been there long enough to dry out, so it took nearly an hour to scrub it clean. Another room had bloody menstrual pads stuck all over the walls at random. Old couple checked out and left a huge box of sex toys. Not that bad, right? We keep items for 90 days. Hotel gets first dibs after that. Say it's an iPad that would be good for something. Then whoever found it gets second dibs. Then GM. Then it's whoever wants it. Head housekeeper kept them locked in her desk BC she wanted first dibs and was scared someone else would take them. Woman with misophobia, fear of germs, stayed with us. She never let the cleaning ladies into the room as she preferred to clean it herself. One day she leaves to go out and removes the do disturb sign. Maid calls down and says the room has a strong chemical odor and found bags of pee and poop in the drawers. Man, I really can't handle people with misophobia that are just disgusting themselves. A bachelorette party came through and, after they left the next night, we had a new rule that charges a $400 glitter fee. But I mean, you couldn't see the floor, so much glitter. It's been a few years and you can probably still find glitter in the carpet throughout the hotel. Love this. We had a no rose petal rule at the romantic B&B. Things stain sheets. 2 worst experiences I had to witness were: a couple came to the desk early in the AM. They clearly had been in an all-out fist fight. They were a cash-paying customer and all they said was, "Sorry, we got in a fight. There is blood in the room. We are HIV positive." Then they took off. Room was an absolute horror show. Had to hire special cleaners to come, gut the room and ended up replacing basically everything in the room. Room was OOC for almost a year. Same hotel. We had some wards of the state types staying. Worst were a couple with a newborn. They couldn't afford basically anything, so made the decision to use our towels as diapers. The state wouldn't let us kick them out and they were just taking the towels off the cart. Ended up having to evict them from the hotel as they had been there long enough to establish residency. A USB drive with 2 different versions of their obituary that they typed up for themselves. Hopefully it stopped them from killing themselves. Alright, time to end it all. Got my rope, obituary on my flash drive in my POC, my PO, or what shit, I lost it. Well, guess I live another day cause I'm not buying another thumb drive and I don't even remember what I wrote down anyway. It was a hallway. I worked the front desk. A little league baseball team was staying the night and a guest complained to my manager about bats flying around. My manager assumed the baseball team was just being rowdy and headed up to tell them to calm down. Turns out it wasn't baseball bats. Just a normal old flying bat hanging out in the hallway. A friend used to clean hotel rooms as a side job. Once he found a shit on the nightstand with a slice of cheese on top. Another time, he went into a room to clean and this woman was lying on the bed naked. He apologized and started to leave. She offered him €50 to spit on her while she masturbated. He spat on her. I worked at a hotel a few years ago. Front desk. I checked out a nice couple in the morning. They were very friendly, said they enjoyed their stay. Then housekeeping got to their room. The poor woman looked shell-shocked. I got to go through the room with a camera and my supervisor to document the state of the room. 2 large, black, double-headed dildos. Lots of Ziploc baggies with powdery residue. Syringes, some used, some still with caps on them, including 2 in the toilet, and more travel-sized bottles of baby oil than I could count. We also found what appeared to be feces and blood smeared all over the bedding and walls and a small digital camera. Police were called, descriptions of them taken, and all their information they had used to check in. I quit soon after, so I don't know if they ever found them or pressed charges. Enjoyed their stay sounds like a vast understatement. Pizza, and not just like leftovers. An entire pizza, and not a single slice of it in the box. The first red flag we found was the slice of pizza smeared all over on the TV. Then we saw 2 slices side by side like they had worn them for slippers and dragged their feet across the floor. 1 slice in the dresser, 1 in the nightstand, 1 in the sheets, and 1 in the bathroom sink. We cleaned the room as normal and put all the pizza in the box. The whole time I'm wondering why someone would do this. Was the pizza not good? Was 1 slice enough and you had to buy the whole thing? I'm doing the final checks in the room and it still smells like pizza. I flick the lamp on and look for the final slice. I finally find it, shadowed in the lampshade. This individual had smeared the last slice on the inside of the lampshade. That was the final piece of the puzzle, or pizzazle. This person bought an entire pizza just to hide it in his hotel room. I was in housekeeping for a while in the winter and a co-worker of mine found a poop in a condom tied to the microwave door. Definitely the most baffling thing I'd heard of anyone finding. People that have died. Feces on the walls and furniture along with vomit, drug paraphernalia, drugs, and once a gun. Feces and vomit is the worst though. Sorry that was a bad night for me. I hope my generous tip of $3 and the leftover pizza made up for it. A little late, but I have 2. Found bloody parrot feathers all over a room. They claimed it was service animal. It wasn't, and had gotten too stressed and pulled all of its plumage out. The guest tried to blame the hotel for noise. We charged them for the cleanup. Was balancing month end one day when the front was swarmed with police cars. They raided a room with no notice to us at the front desk. Turned out a pimp was cooking meth in one of rooms with 2 prostitutes and a dog. There was a short standoff before everyone was arrested. Their car was seemingly forgotten about in the parking lot, but it disappeared a week later. We were unable to charge for damages since all of their cards were stolen. A pimp with a meth cooking team made up of 2 prostitutes and a dog. Sounds like a great TV show. Not me but my dad. He was the director of housekeeping for a worldwide hotel chain. His housekeepers didn't know what to do with a girthy 12-inch dildo suction cupped on the writing table. It was still very moist, he said. Then he looked up who stayed in the room to see if maybe they wanted it back, but it was too tiny. Frail little old ladies, canes and all. And he said it was too embarrassing to contact them, so he waited a bit to see if they'd call asking for it, but they never did. He ended up throwing it out. Not a hotel worker but once stayed in a resort in the Dominican where someone had shit in the safe. Or I guess carried their shit to the safe. Not sure. Either way, I guess the staff hadn't checked to see if anything was in there when cleaning after the last people. 25 years ago I worked at a snooty part of a snooty ski resort in Park City, Utah. Most of the regular guests were just typical old rich white dudes. But during Sundance season though, the celebrities come out. There is a certain musician, entertaining us for decades now, who has a disgusting hobby, or did in the early 90s at least. Next time you're cut in footless, or jetting close to the danger zone, just know that Kenny Loggins gives his entire family coffee ground enemas, which leaves a giant mess, and leaves it for the hotel staff to clean up, twice in one stay. My ex-wife projectile vomited all over a room at the La Quinta in Somerville after way too many SoCos at the Rattlesnake. I cannot drive 93 northbound out of Boston without some degree of shame. Sorry, La Quinta workers, I did the best I could, but there was only so much that could be done. Also, this is one of the many reasons she is now my ex-wife. A bear, First, you gotta understand that a lot needs to happen for this to occur. Our lowest floor was still about 1.5 meters from the ground, and each outside room had a balcony rail. However, a guest had decided to want to unload his motorcycle from his truck and leave the ramp down. So, I'm assuming he could ride the bike up when he was done. The guest that was staying in the room had room service, decided to leave the food uncovered and the balcony doors open, and later went to the hotel pool/spa to relax. Upon returning, they had gone to us at reception and said that there was a bear in the room. Puzzled, we quietly approached the room and slowly opened the door. Lo and behold, there was a bear eating room service and making a mess of my afternoon. We called Parks Canada to deal with it. Guest was not charged a cleaning fee. It was a family retreat/kids birthday party. The adults were getting shit-faced while the kids were in the presidential suite raising hell. They had decided to have a fully stocked ice cream bar and allowed the kids to do what they wanted with it. M&Ms crushed into the carpet, chocolate footprints on the walls, whipped cream fucking everywhere, fruit punch spilled on the bed. In total we had to charge them about $7,000 in damages, which they took to court because they thought the cleanup would be included. That's why we did it at a hotel. They also smashed glass all over our dog hiking trail, which I had to clean up. I do hotel renovations, so we find anything the housekeepers have forgotten over the years. Most often we find dirty magazines, clothing, children's toys, sometimes drugs in super random places lol. Not a hotel worker, but I found a webcam in the air vent. This is the worst thread. Just checked into a hotel. It's 3 AM. Fuck it, they can have the video of my naked ass.